the world of gritty procedurals and high-tech crime labs, there were the brothers who brought mustaches, muscle cars, and macho sibling rivalry to primetime TV. Simon & Simon may not get as much love as Magnum or Miami Vice, but this 80s classic had its own cool factor, and a few geeky secrets behind the scenes. So polish up that Camaro and get ready to dial into 10 geeky facts about Simon & Simon you probably didn't know. Fact 1. It was a slow burn to success. Simon & Simon premiered in 1981. It almost didn't make it past the starting line. The pilot aired on CBS, but ratings were so-so. Not bad, not great. Kind of like a lukewarm cup of diner coffee. The show was nearly cancelled after just one season, but then CBS did something brilliant.
A stolen sports car, a beautiful co-ed, and some hired thugs give private investigators Rick and A.J. all the trouble they can handle on Simon & Simon, Tuesday. Wow!
They moved it to Wednesday nights right after a little show called Magnum P.I. That strategic move gave it a huge boost. Viewers already in their recliners from Magnum stuck around, and the show finally found its audience. Season 2, boom, ratings went up, and Rick and A.J. were officially in business. Fact 2. A real-life Vietnam vet inspired Rick. Rick Simon, played by Gerald McRaney, was the rough-and-tumble, ex-Marine older brother with a pickup truck and a cowboy hat. But did you know his backstory had a real-world influence? Rick's character was inspired by real-life Vietnam vets struggling to readjust to civilian life. The writers wanted to portray Rick as a blue-collar hero, tough, loyal, and street-smart. His military background added depth and grit to what could have been a goofy buddy cop character. 3. The theme song almost didn't happen. Hear that? That's nostalgia hitting your eardrums. But here's the kicker. Simon & Simon didn't always have this theme song. Pilot's episode featured a completely different opening and bland score. When the show got picked up, composers Barry DeVorzen and Michael Towers created a funky sax-heavy theme we all know. It instantly gave the show a new identity, laid back but action-ready, just like the Simons. Fact 4. Gerald McRaney almost quit. Behind the scenes, things weren't always brotherly. Gerald McRaney, who played Rick, clashed with producers over how rough-edged his character should be. McRaney wanted Rick to have more moral complexity, less beer-drinking clown, more man with a code. At one point, he threatened to walk if the character didn't evolve. Luckily, producers listened, and Rick Simon became the heart of the show, gritty, grounded, and fiercely loyal. Fact 5. They did a crossover with Magnum P.I. What happens when 3 legendary private eyes share the screen? TV gold. In 1982, Simon & Simon crossed over with Magnum P.I. in a 2-part episode. Part 1 aired on Magnum P.I., Part 2 on Simon & Simon. Fans got to see Tom Selleck's mustache and Rick's cowboy boots in the same storyline. That crossover was one of the first of its kind and helped Simon & Simon secure its fan base. Fact number 6. The cars were characters too. Rick drove a beat-up Dodge Power Wagon, AJ drove a slick Camaro Z28. These cars weren't just props, they were symbols. Rick's truck screamed rugged independence, while AJ's ride said, "I'm the smooth one." In fact, car fanatics still hunt down these exact models, with some even restoring replicas from the show. The vehicles weren't just transportation, they were extensions of the Simons' personalities. Fact number 7. They filmed in San Diego, then moved. Those palm trees and coastal shots in the first season, that's San Diego, but filming there got expensive. Starting in season 2, the show quietly relocated to Los Angeles, but they still use stock footage of San Diego to keep the illusion. Yep, that iconic skyline, often just reused B-roll. It's a classic Hollywood trick, and most viewers never notice. Fact number 8. Jameson Parker survived a real-life shooting. Things got very real for Jameson Parker, who played clean-cut A.J. Simon when he was shot in 1992, shortly after the series ended. He got into a dispute with a neighbour over a driveway and was shot in the chest and arm. Miraculously, he survived and recovered fully. Talk about resilience. Just like his TV character, Parker handled adversity with grace. Fact number 9. The show had a quiet influence on future crime dramas. Simon and Simon may not get mentioned alongside Law & Order or NCIS, but it helped lay the groundwork for the buddy cop genre on TV. Shows like Psych, Burn Notice, and even Chuck owe a bit of their DNA to the Simon brothers. Quirky duo? Check. Mystery of the Week format? Check. Clever banter with occasional fistfights? Double check. Fact number 10. The Simons returned. Once. Yep, they came back. In 1995, the brothers returned in a made-for-TV movie called Simon & Simon, In Trouble Again. Caught up with the duo years after the series ended. Fans got one last ride with Rick and A.J. It wasn't a ratings hit, but it gave closure to long-time viewers and showed that brotherly love doesn't fade, even after the cameras stop rolling. Funky saxophones to sibling squabbles. Simon & Simon was a unique blend of brains, brawn, and good old 80s charm. It never tried to be too slick, and that's what made it great. So whether you're a die-hard fan or just discovering the show, we hope these geeky facts gave you a new appreciation for the original Private Eye brothers. Thanks for watching. If you love diving into TV nostalgia, hit that like button, subscribe for more geeky facts, and tell us in the comments which 80s show should we cover next. Until then, stay curious and stay geeky.